We are going to, on this video, be working on this particular assignment, the Fusion hands-on activity, the one that says creating a sketch for beginners. Just so you know that if you go to Schoology, you should see this assignment and be able to click on it and click on this link right here. And it will bring you to where the instructions begin. And you're basically going to move through, in addition to this video, you're going to move through this process from number 1 all the way down. So for example, I'll start with number 1 and I would read the goals, and then I would go next topic, create a sketch. And it would walk me through the process. A lot of this one's going to be review for you, but not all of it. And you're going to proceed through all the way to the end until you've made this thing right here. Okay, so that's going to be our goal. So I'm going to walk you through that over here in Fusion. And I don't think we're going to need this. A couple of things we're going to want to do. Let's check the name of the assignment again. Let's make sure I get that right. So, creating a sketch for beginners. So I'm going to go to Fusion, and I'm going to make sure I'm in the correct folder, and I'm going to open up this thing and save it. And I'm going to say, creating a sketch for beginners. There we go. Save it. And the other thing I want you to do, make sure you do, is go into Document Settings and change your units, because this tutorial is going to be all in millimeters. So I click on this, go to drop down Document Settings, go to where it says Units, and this little thing pops up. Click on that, and I'm going to change it to millimeter for this one, and hit OK. Okay, and so they go through the steps pretty slowly. They want you to create a sketch. I want you to note that that's right here in your, I'm going to start utilizing this more. It happens to be pinned to my toolbar up here, so I could click on that, or you could go here and create a sketch. That way, I like choosing the XY plane down here. Okay. I think actually they choose, no, they do, XY plane. That's fine, I think. Doesn't really matter what plane you choose, so don't sweat it. Create a circle. Notice I've also pinned that up here to my toolbar. To do that, let me show you. I go to circle and over to center diameter circle. You see these 3 dots. I can click on those, and then I can say, for example, if I click this, notice it's not up in my toolbar anymore. But it's something I use quite a bit, so I'm going to go and pin it to my toolbar, and that way it's right there. So I click on that, and I lock to my origin, and I move this way, out some way. And I'm not going to worry about how far I go, because if you follow the instructions on there, they just say go anywhere, click, and then go to Sketch Dimension. It shows up all the way down here in the Sketch menu, which is why I've gone through that step and pinned it to my toolbar. So it's up here as well. So if I click on that, and then I click on the circle, and then I click again, I can type in the value they want, which is a diameter of 62 millimeters. All right. So I'm done this particular sketch, and so there's a couple ways, of course, you can end the sketch. You can go up here, or you can click down here in this box. It's up to you. Stop sketch. And then we're going to extrude or press pull this a distance of, let's see, they want us to do this 8 millimeters. So, right click here, do press pull, or I could do extrude. Either one, I believe, really behaves the same. I'll bring it up to 8 millimeters. I'll type in 8, I think, and hit enter, and I've got that done. Now we're going to start a new sketch on top of the old one here. So I'm going to right click on the top surface and do create sketch. Now what I want you to do, and there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to show you both ways real quick. One way that they want you to do this is they're going to create another circle. So we're going to hit new circle there, hover over the origin again, and then move out, at this time, 56 millimeters. I'll type that now, 56, and hit enter. Now, there is another way to handle this. I'm just checking to make sure. So 50, they said 56, right? All right. If, another way to do that, let me hit back and I'll show you, is to do the offset feature. So if I go down here and I find, let's see it, there it is, offset. And I'm going to select the original outer part of the circle. And I'm going to offset it by -4, I believe. I think the instructions say -3, which doesn't make sense to me. Because if it's at 60, and I wanted it to be at 56, could be wrong, but I think that's -4. Maybe I'm going crazy. Yeah. So, either way, I'm gonna go -4. Your instructions look like to me they say -3. If you try it this way, no big deal. I'm gonna go -4, and I hit OK, and I've done the same thing as I did before. All right. So I'm going to stop that sketch and extrude just that outer ring, this one right here. So I can right-click out here and do press pull, and then select just the outer part. And if I read this correctly, they want us to extrude that 22, I believe, centimeters. Let's double check. Let's see. Make sure I got my page right. Yes, 22. So I type 22 and I hit enter. All right. So we're going to, on this surface on the inside, we're going to do another sketch. So we're going to go down into this surface and right click and do create sketch. And we're going to put a circle. This is one of those situations, we're just going to put it anywhere. Don't let it connect to anything in particular. Just kind of out here in space somewhere. Click once, move it. I believe they want this one 4 millimeters, so I'll type 4, and I'll hit enter. And there it is. Now we're going to constrain it. We're going to lock it into a certain location. Because right now it's just kind of anywhere. So the first constraint we're going to do is something called horizontal vertical. So you come down here in your sketch palette and you find where it says horizontal vertical. And you click on that. And you click on your circle. Let me zoom in a little bit. Click on your circle. I'm going to click on the center of it right there. And then I'm going to click on the origin right here. And that will arrange them so that in this case they're right above each other. But now I have to tell it how far I want it from the center to this. It's great that they're right above each other, but how far? So I'm going to go to dimension. I'm going to click on the origins here and the center of my circle here, and then move over this way and click again. And if I read the instructions correctly, they want that to be, I believe, 25.4 millimeters. Type in 25.4 and I hit enter. Interesting. So I'm looking at mine and I see that that circle goes past this one right here. So I don't think that's what they want. So I'm going to edit this a little bit. I'm going to take this and go back to I'm going to stop the sketch in a second. I'm going to go back and I'm going to make this the 3 millimeters they told me it had to be. So we're going to go, good example of when things don't look like they're working right, what you can do. So I'm going to hit stop sketch. I'm done this part for now. We'll come back to it. And I'm going to go down to the sketch I made earlier, this one right here, where I did that circle. And I'm going to right click on it. Actually, you don't have to right click on it. You can double click on it and you'll be able to edit it, I believe. There we go. And I'm going to double click on this number, this offset number that I did, and make it -3 instead. So that must have been what they wanted. Alright, and then I'm going to stop the sketch. Now, I don't think I'm done with this sketch yet with the little circle, but you'll notice now it is not past that line, and I think that's what we want. So I'm going to double click on this sketch, the one with the little circle. There we go. All right. And now I'm going to create a circular pattern. I'm going to go up here to Sketch, drop down, and go to Circular Pattern. And it wants to know, here's my little dialog box here, and it wants to know, what do I want to make a pattern of? Well, it's this circle right here, right? So I click on it. Let me click on the circle itself. Yeah, I got to put on the outer part of the circle better. In fact, let's just read what they say. Select the circle. So I'll select the, yep, like this. Notice I didn't like my selection. I wasn't sure about it, so I clicked the X here, and now I'm back here, and I can just click right on the circle, and I think that's better. All right, what's the center that we're going to revolve around? Well, so I click on this, and I come down, and I say, well, I want to revolve it around the origin in this case. Right off the bat, it says, all right, it does a full thing all the way around, and it does, notice, 3 of them. One, our original, and 2 more. Then we look at the instructions, and I think they want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They want 6 of them total. So I'm going to go here and type in 6, and it will evenly space 6 of them around the circle. Just like that. And I think that's all we need to do. Okay, and then stop the sketch. And then, I always like going home after that. We are now going to raise each of these circles up 6 millimeters. So we're going to do press pull or extrude. Do press pull is fine with me. And I'm going to click on each of these profiles. So in this case, I think I'll want to rotate this so I can see them all. And zoom in nice and close. Make sure you get them all. Boom. That one. That one. And that one. I get them all? Yes. All right. And now I'm going to take them up. Let's move this back to the home. I think I'll be able to see a little better. I'm going to go 6 millimeters. And there they go. I'm going to just double check that they all went up 6 millimeters. Yep. Okay. And I'm going to hit OK. All right. And now we're going to work with arcs. So we are going to create a sketch on the same spot that we did before, this surface right here. So right click on it and do create sketch. And now we're going to create some arcs. So go to your sketch drop down there, and where it says arc, and do 3-point arc. We're going to pick 2 of the circles. So we're going to start in this one, go to the center of that circle. There it is. It locks on to the center of the circle, it looks like. So I click once. And then I come over to the center of an adjacent circle, and I click again. And then just move back here somewhere. Right around in here is fine. Don't make it touch anything. Don't worry about anything else. Just click somewhere in here once. Boom. Okay. Now what we really want this to do is to be tangent to or just touch this inner surface. And the command that does, or the thing that helps us do that is down here where it says tangent. So if I click on that, and I click on my arc once, and I click on this ring right here once, it will snap them to each other like so. All right, and they only touch in one place. If you zoom in, it'll only technically be one spot where they'll touch. Now, instead of doing that again and again and again, between all the circles, we're going to use, you guessed it, the circular pattern feature. So we're going to go down here, do circular pattern. The thing we want a pattern of this time is this arc. Click. And I believe, notice, it really only selected, I think, up to here, but we'll see. The center point is going to be the origin again. I think I want 1, 2, 3, 4, I want 6 of these as well. There we go. And we hit OK. Alright, and there it is. These dots here represent the center of these arcs. Don't worry about it too much. They're just there as kind of a reference. Alright, so now we've done that. I think we're going to extrude these, and we should be pretty much done. So let's stop our sketch. And I like going home for this. And we are going to extrude or press pull, however you want to look at it. Do press pull on that space, this one. Notice you can actually select it through the thing as well. It's kind of cool. You don't have to actually be looking at it. So we're going to select on these spaces here. There we go. And we're going to take them up. Let's make sure. Also up 6 millimeters. 6. And enter. And there we go. I believe our shape looks like it should. Alright, so I hope this was helpful. What I want you to do now is make sure you click Save. Click User Saved, and that way make sure you're in the folder that's supposed to be shared with me. If not, go to that folder and just do Save As and do it again. But it should appear there so I can give you a grade on it and double check it and make sure it's done right. Alright, thank you very much.